Hello, everybody. I hope all of you are having a good day today. I'm making this video today to share with you guys my passion, why I make videos about the things that I do, and I hope that you'll come to understand a little bit better why I'm seem to be obsessed over certain things. Back before June 14th of 2012, before I knew God, I lived in darkness. My eyes were closed. And the night that God came to me and healed me and opened my eyes, I immediately saw the darkness that the world was in. And I realized at that moment there that I wanted to help those that could not help themselves. I wanted to open the eyes of the blind. I wanted to go out into the world and help the most vulnerable. I remember before I come to know God, I remember there'd be times that I'd be watching television late at night, or nowadays on cable television you can see it any time of the day. But I remember from time to time one of those videos would pop up of someone in Africa or in South America with some poor starving child with flies crawling in and out of their mouth and tears coming out of their eyes, and they were talking about how hungry they were and that just $1 a day would help feed them. I remember that, and I would see that and think to myself, man, I sure am glad that I live here in the United States of America, and we live in this little bubble and we shield ourselves, and I would just kind of shut it out. It's like my compassion, I felt bad for them, but it was like, what can I do for them? And so as soon as the commercial was over, if I didn't switch the channel to something else myself, as soon as it was over, it was out of sight, out of mind. So the night that God came to me, I immediately knew that my mission in life was going to be to help young people. And my mission in life was going to be to share the love of God with the world, to expose false religion for what it is. And I'm talking about all forms of religion, even modern Christianity, that it was all a lie, that if what you have doesn't come with power and authority to change you, give you a new heart and a new mind, then it's not real, it's just religion. If you have a testimony, if you've been changed by God, then that means you've changed the way you live. You're not living the same anymore, and you can't boast and say that you did it or you are doing it, because it's all God's work within you. For a couple of years in America, I was a volunteer at a food pantry, and I was the Good Samaritan director there, and I loved that work, but I just felt like there was more. There was more that I needed. I would go from church to church and share my testimony, and some churches loved my testimony. Some people rejected it. They didn't like what I had to say. But eventually, God, in all his amazing way that he directs my path, led me to Lynn. And I remember the first picture that I saw of Lynn on Facebook was her stirring a great big old black pot, and she was making something for a group of kids, and she had nothing. She would just go around and collect pesos here and there and collect vegetables and things here and there, and would make do with what she had to feed children. And I knew the moment that I seen her, I wanted to help her. I wanted to do something like that. I wanted to go somewhere where people really needed help. In all this time, God has given me dreams and visions, and he's showing me that things in the world are going to get a lot darker, that things are going to get really, really bad. But once we get through this dark spell, then it's going to be amazing. There's going to be a wonderful awakening. And so the whole time I've been here, I've been waiting for these things to escalate. And they did. They started escalating slowly at first, and then you guys know what happened in 2020. And now that gets me to where we're at today, and why I'm so passionate of making videos about these mandates and lockdowns and things like that. And it upsets a lot of people. They get upset with me, and I've had some people that used to help donate and help our ministry stop because they don't like my views on this. But see, what I can't stand is I can't stand to see what these lockdowns and all that have done to my children over here. In 5 years' time over here, we have provided over 70,000 meals, and we have been around thousands and thousands of children, and been to just countless churches, sharing our testimonies and sharing the love of God with people. And out of all that time, out of all those people, those thousands and thousands of children, I have not seen one single child with this cough. But I have seen lots of children with dengue, with typhoid, with malaria, with symptoms of malnutrition. I've saw depression. I've seen depression in their moms, their dads, because of no money, no way to take care of themselves. And this was all before 2020. So you can imagine what it's like now. You see, since we've had all these lockdowns since I've been here, I have to count every peso. I have to make every peso count here, because you just, whenever you have a ministry for feeding children, you have to account for everything. And the price of everything has tripled and quadrupled. Milkfish, it's called bangus here, is the staple fish that everybody eats here. And whenever I first got here, you could buy a kilo of bangus, of milkfish, for about 160 pesos. Okay, 50 pesos makes $1 American. Now the price for the same fish is almost 300 pesos. You could buy a complete grilled chicken for 180 pesos. Now it's 340 pesos. Okay? Everything, fuel, cooking oil, everything, the charcoal for cooking your food, everything has gone up, but nobody's salary has moved. And then whenever you restrict the people's movements, or they have to pay for a PCR test, or they have to pay for all these passes to be able to move around, these people, they didn't have any money in the first place. They couldn't make ends in the first place, and now it's horrible. And what I'm going to say now is where I get in trouble with a lot of people, because they all say it's a conspiracy theory. But I'm going to say it again. There was no cough on this island until they brought out the magic elixir. When the elixir came, the cough spread like wildfire. But you know what? No children were sick with it. I talk about things that I see with my own eyes. I talk about things that I know for a fact to be true because I've witnessed it personally. I'm out in the field. I see this stuff every day. And the majority of the people that are getting sick are the ones that took the elixir. And then they go home and they spread it to other family members. But the kids, the children, are very strong, and they seem to be pretty immune to it. In the middle of all this mess, here I am. Here I am with Lynn. Lynn and I trying to be a light in the darkness. Trying to show these children that there is love out there. Trying to show them that there is people out there that care for them and will stand up for them. People that will stand in the gap for them and face whatever comes our way, no matter what it is, and protect them. We've all lost friends and family to this cough. I'm not insensitive to that. I've seen that. But what I do know is that all of the mandates have caused way more problems than they helped. I see so much greed. Greed rules the world. And greed has caused us to come to where we're at today. God showed me in the very beginning things are going to get very dark in this world before the light shines bright again. And we have to be in the gap. We have to stand in that darkness to be the light on top of the hill, to be a beacon. And Father God never once told me not to get involved, not to express my opinion. I know I have the power of God living inside me, and I have nothing, absolutely nothing out there to fear. But I also have this human side of me that cannot stand to see those that can't help themselves be taken advantage of. That's why I post the things that I do. And that's why I do the things that I do. That's why I'm here. It's easy to sit on the couch and be a Monday morning quarterback. It takes a lot to get off that couch and actually get out and do something and benefit the world. I love you all. God bless.